Good day, everyone. This is Sidney Fofe of SL Podcasts. I'm very excited again today to be sharing information with you, the information that is meant to change your life and make you better. We are on another important topic today, very exciting, and we are going to learn a lot from it. This one is up and personal, and I know we are going to learn a lot from it because it is definitely going to relate with a lot of people, because we live in a society today which is narcissistic, which is egocentric and self-centered. So we experience a lot of these things that we are going to be talking about today. And I know definitely it is going to relate because all of us have experienced what we are going to be sharing today. The topic that we are on today is stand tall and don't be deterred, because we are going to be challenged. We are going to be pushed from time to time. That's the societies we live in. People nowadays they are self-loving. They concentrate much on what pleases them. So definitely we are going to experience a lot of negative things, or we have already experienced a lot of negative things. In all those things, we need to stand tall and never allow ourselves to be deterred. I've been rejected. That's a fact. We all go through rejections, whether in business, in relationships, we go through rejections. And I've been overlooked. And I know it is something that can relate with a lot of people. We are overlooked from time to time. Even when we are good enough for some things, we are overlooked. I've been despised. And I know it relates with a lot of people. People have been looked down upon. People have been despised. And this is the nature of our societies today. I've been denied. The things that were rightfully mine were withheld from me and all those things. So we need to understand it happens to a lot of people. And like I said, we live in a narcissistic communities. We live in egocentric societies. Those are the things that we deal with on a daily basis. I've been downtrodden. People will definitely step on you. On their way up, they will step on you. This is the nature of the societies we live in today. I've been spat on. A lot of people will see you not as good and they will spit on you. It's just a matter of fact. And I've been put to shame. Whether we have done mistakes or we have not done mistakes, people are going to make sure they rub some things on us so that we get ashamed. They will put us down so that they can look better. These are some of the things that we experience. And I've been written off with many things. A lot of people didn't see me emerging because some because of ill health, some because of the challenges, business challenges and relational challenges. A lot of people write you off to say this time is not going to emerge, because this is the nature of life and this is what we process and deal with on a daily basis. And I've been targeted. When you are trying to improve your life, you become a target. In business, we call that competition. You become a competitor. Obviously, your competitors will target you. They will try to look at your weaknesses and then they target your weaknesses. And sometimes the game can be very, very rough, and the targeting can be intentional and very hurtful. We need to be aware of all these things. And I've been looked at as stupid. every now and then, people who don't understand you, people who don't even know who you are and what you do in the background, because it's not like everything you do has to be in the open. They will still look at you as if you are stupid and you don't even know what you're doing. And we need to be aware of all these things. And I've been disrespected. We can relate with this. We are disrespected in many forums. We are disrespected in many areas. And we need to understand that these things are normal processes of life. People, when people don't see any value in you, they'll disrespect you, because people are inclined to respecting people who have something that is respectable. If they don't pick anything respectable in you, they will disrespect you, even though it is not supposed to be like that. But it is like that in the societies we live in. And I've been humiliated. Humiliation, whether false accusations or being humiliated by the things we have done. We have been through all those things. And people will pick them and they will make sure that they rub these things on you so that you can really, really, really be humiliated. People are body shaming others. People are looking at other people, material possessions, and they will be talking about them as if it is what is supposed to be. I have been ostracized. This is what we all go through from time to time. People look at us as if we are a piece of garbage, and this is some of these things, and all these things are the things that we experience. And I've been betrayed. A lot of people will be out looking for something that they can get from you, and before you know it, well, they will come friendly, and before you know it, they'll be backstabbing you, because that's how people think they're supposed to play in the game of life. They get what they want and they backstab you. And all these things are painful things. We need to understand. And like I said, this thing is up and past now. In all these experiences, I'm still standing tall. And I've never allowed myself to be deterred. I'm forging ahead, because this is how we are supposed to process everything. This is how we are supposed to live our lives. It doesn't matter what we go through, whether people recognize us or they don't recognize us. We need to forge ahead and do our best. What I perceive and know about myself has always been stronger than what people see and say about me. And this is something which is important. And these are some of the things that have kept me going. It is very important to understand and to know who you are. And you need to have a very clear picture of who you are inside. Disregarding what other people say about you or see and say about you. We need to have this thing very clear. Who I am and what I see in me is sometimes different from what other people are saying. And I will definitely stick to who I am and what I see in myself. I understand who I am and what I can be. It is very important for us to come to that. When you understand who you are and what you can be, it is definitely going to be a driving force. This thing is going to push you against current. It's going to push you because you are the one who understands who you are and what you can be. And other people's perception about us are not as important as who we are and what we can be. And we need to understand, and it is no secret, that we are not finished products yet. When people pick our weaknesses and they pick some things which are negative and they want to talk about them and amplify them, it is their take. That's what they want to do. And it shouldn't even affect ourselves, and it doesn't even have to affect us in any way, because we need to understand we are not finished products yet. And I admitted to the fact that I'm human. This is what I've admitted to. And whenever we admit to the fact that we are human, it comes with a package of saying, as much as I'm human, I am fallible. I will make mistakes. I will do things that I'm not proud of, and I'll say things that I'm not proud of. And we need to understand that in our infallibility, or in our fallibility, in fact, we are going to do things that we are not going to be very happy about. And in our fallibility, we need to understand that we still deserve to be alive. We still are worthy of everything that is good. This is a fact. It doesn't matter how fallible we are still deserving to be alive. We are human. And those are some of the things that we need to be processing and doing and pushing ourselves to say, I might have fallen, or I might have done something that I'm not proud of, but I'm still a worthy human being. I'm still worthy of everything that is good. It is very important. And I must admit that it is a terrible thing to be going through all these negative emotions. When you are betrayed, when you are rejected, when you are backstabbed, all these things are painful things to deal with. And it is a fact. And all these things leave us in a bad space. It is a fact. We get hurt. We go through pain, because all of us want to be loved. All of us want to be appreciated. All of us want to be nurtured. And when all these things are not happening, we get hurt and we get into a bad space. And if we are not going to be able to manage that bad space, it will lead us to bad paths in trying to cope, in trying to help ourselves to cope with what is happening, with all the rejections and the backstabbing. Life has a tendency every now and then to throw us into the docks. This is a fact of life. We'll be thrown to the docks. We'll be left wounded, because whenever all these things happen, they will wound you. They will wound you inside. You'll be bleeding from within, because, like I said, we all want to be appreciated. We all want to be loved. Whenever we are rejected, it is very painful. So we are out in the sun sometimes, and we are out in the open, exposed to all the bad weathers, and with no hope for an immediate cover. It is something that we need to be aware of. When we are going through stuff and we have hope that it will end very soon, we can deal with that. And when there is no hope for cover in the aftermath of our experiences, we are definitely going to go through a very bad space. And these are challenging times when a lot of people can't manage to cope with all these things. And the pressure becomes too much to a lot of people sometimes. And these are some of the things that will lead many people to hopelessness. And when we are hopeless, we tend to divert and into wrong things that hurt us. Instead of putting life into perspective, we hurt ourselves with whatever we try to do to remedy the situation, to get to where we are supposed to be at. And it is very important for us to understand that these are challenging times. These are times where we feel pain, we feel dejected, we feel left out. And if we don't handle it properly, we are definitely going to get hurt. And many people tend to hurt themselves when they can't see the way out of their situations. And that's what we see happening nowadays. It is trending that a lot of guys are hating themselves and a lot of ladies are hating themselves. We hate ourselves because we don't see our way out of situations. While in the actual fact, it doesn't necessarily mean there is no way out of the situation, but we are so much clouded with our challenges and our situations that we can't see beyond them. And in most cases, because we are occluded, we can't see properly, we come to a place where we come to think that there is no way out, and we hurt ourselves. And our brains crash when they are put under pressure. And whenever hopelessness set in, a lot of bad things happen. As long as we are going to make peace with the fact that all these negative things are going to happen from time to time, we have to be prepared. We have to know that whenever we are rejected, there is always a way out. Because with every challenge that comes, there is always a room or a door for escape. They come as a package. Challenge come packaged with a door of escape. And if we are going to focus on the challenge, we are not going to see the door of escape. And when the problem becomes too big, we end up hurting ourselves. We go through depressive moments when we don't see our way out of the situations we're going through. And sometimes we become suicidal. All these things, they happen. And a lot of people, or some people, will actually go into depression. They'll be depressed. Some people will commit suicide because they just can't see their way out of the situation, even though there are ways out. And because we are occluded or we can't see properly, we are obstructed by the magnitude of the problem that we think is before us. We end up hurting ourselves. All these things we usually tend to are not helpful. Sometimes we try to tend to some things. We try to tend to friends. We try to tend to substances. And all these things usually are not very helpful. They lead us into more and more trouble. Because whenever we take in substances, there are going to come a time when you are sober and you can't always be on substances to try to alleviate yourself or to try to help yourself out of the problems that are facing you. All these things, sometimes we try to act on some things to say, I'm going to do this because I'm going through this. And in the actual effect, hurting ourselves and causing more harm to ourselves. As much as we try to escape the pain and the trauma and hopelessness, we get ourselves into more trouble. We pile some pressures on ourselves because we have not picked the right way to escape or to get out of the situations that we find ourselves in. And in reality, we really need to rethink and reposition ourselves. Whenever we go through pain, we need to look inside us, who we are and what is important to us. And we need to make sure that we do our best to put life into perspective, to say this thing is not the end of the world, there's still tomorrow. And if you are rejected by one person, there are a million other people that can love you or that can accept you. These are the facts and the realities of life. We can't summarize ourselves, or we can't summarize our lives by the rejection of one person or the rejection of 10 people. While there are so many people who can appreciate us and help us in life. This is how we are supposed to be looking at life and perceiving life. We don't need to hurt ourselves and destroy our lives just because we are going through pain and traumas. We don't need to do that. There's more to life than rejections and backstabbings and being used. There's more to life than that. Because it doesn't necessarily mean because somebody got money from you, the money has finished or dried up, there's going to be money coming in the future. We need to be processing these things properly. With a better view of ourselves and what is important to us, we can hold up and get to the other side unscathed and still operational. This is a fact of life. If we can have a better view of ourselves, of our importance, we'll get to the other side unhurt and unscathed. It is very important for us to understand that. And truth be told, we lose a lot of things in the process of going through difficulties and traumas. But in everything we lose, we shouldn't lose ourselves. Definitely, we are going to lose friends because they have betrayed us. We are going to lose money because we acted out of stupidity sometime. And we are going to be losing a lot of things. And we should be very careful. Whatever we lose in the process, we shouldn't lose ourselves. We shouldn't hurt ourselves because things didn't go according to plan. When we go through the stormy weathers, when it is all dark and gloomy, when we don't see our way out of our situations, when our visions are impaired, obscured, or hindered, we should keep moving. It is very important for us to have this motto as part of our lives, to say, whatever happens, I'll keep moving. I'll keep taking steps to my future or to my destiny. It doesn't matter the setbacks. We should keep moving. We don't stop when we can't see our way clearly. We keep moving. We don't stop in the storm. We keep moving, because if we stop, we are going to take long in the storm. We need to be aware, and it's a fact, that we need to see beyond the storm and keep forging ahead. It is very important for us to see beyond the storm and keep moving and keep forging ahead. Because if we do that, we should know that stormy weathers, they cover a certain area. And if we continue moving, rather slowly, we are giving ourselves a chance to get out of the stormy stretch to the other side. And we are going to be giving ourselves a chance to go past the storm and look back and see the storm behind us. What we need to understand is that every storm that we go through shouldn't deter us. It shouldn't stop us. We should keep moving. They are not meant to destroy us. There is life after every storm. And whenever we make motion towards the exit, we are definitely going to be out of the storm. And when we look back, we'll realize that we are over the storm. We have been through storms before, and because we have made it through the storms before, we can still make it in the storms that are coming before us. It is very important to keep our eyes open, to hold tight to our convictions. Our eyes should always be open. Whenever things happen, our eyes should always be open. We should be open to a lot of things, and we should be true to our convictions. We need to hold tight to who we are and what is important to us. We need to put life into perspective every now and then so that we can keep moving and forge ahead. It doesn't matter the pain. It doesn't matter whatever happened. It doesn't matter all the rejections and all the betrayals and all the things that happen that are negative. We can forge ahead and we can get to where we need to get to. We really can't undermine the pain of the life traumas. We can't do that. We can't undermine the pain. It is very painful. Like I said, we all want to be loved. We all want to be nurtured. We all want to be taken care of. We all want to be praised. We all want to be appreciated. And when that thing doesn't come, it is okay when it doesn't come. The appraisals are not coming and nothing else is coming. It is okay. But when now when you expect to be loved and appreciated, you are hit with rejections and despised and all that. It becomes a little bit painful. And we are concluding by saying it is important to know that people who lived before us had to go through difficulties and challenges. They had their fair share of traumatic experiences, but they held on to the very end of their lives. We are a generation that we need to put life into perspective, to say we are not the first to be alive, and we are not the first to be going through traumatic experiences. Our parents have gone through all these traumatic experiences, and they lived on to the very last of their lives. We can do that also. If they could have held on to the very end, we can too. What is humanly possible is possible to everyone. We need to put life into perspective. If they could hold on, we can too. We must hold our own fight and keep the faith of ourselves and on. We need to understand that we need to have hope on ourselves, and we need to have hope again on the invisible hand of God to help us through all these things that we are going through. It is very important for us to understand and to process all these things so that we can have a clear view and a clear perspective about life. Instead of hating ourselves, we can fight a good fight. We can fight a worthy and noble fight. It is very important. We can finish our races scarred. It doesn't matter. If we finish scarred, it's okay. Bruised, hurt, traumatized, but still able to cross the finish line as victors, not as losers. We need to understand, whenever we are hit, we need to forge ahead and do what is important. It is important to keep good perspective about ourselves and about life. We are stronger than we think. We are deserving of good things than we think. We are smarter than we think. We must keep the faith and hold our fight to the very end. It is very important for us to have that perspective about life. It is very important. And it is important to stand tall always and never allow ourselves to be deterred by anything. We need to reach our destinies. We need to reach the end of our lives. We need to grow old. We need to go through all these experiences and get to the other side. Having lost many things, but never having lost ourselves in the process. We can get to the other side and we can be better. We can stand tall and we can forge ahead and never be deterred by anything. Thank you.